All right, all right. All right, look, for those of you not doing this already, just want to go over a way to potentially find homes that you can wholesale or buy or flip, and at the same time, find some buyers. Okay. Now, I'm just looking through Canton, Ohio houses for rent, and you can see, there's a plethora of places for rent. Now, question is, which one of these are from a landlord, which one of these are just from a private party, and that's where a little bit of investigating comes in hand, and and then you can start to find you some buyers, or even stuff like this. What I like to do with this, it's already for rent, right? So, I could approach this person like, okay, hey, I see you have this house for rent. Would you be willing to lease the home to me with an option to purchase? Like, okay, a lot of these investors will already know what it is and they'll jump right on the offer. Those that are willing to cash out. Some investors are in it for the long haul. They don't want to cash out on a potential property. How is this beneficial for you as a wholesaler? Well, for one, if you find a landlord willing to lease option out the house and you tell them, hey, look, I have buyers that we put through credit repair programs that we get to buy out in 12 to 24 months. So if you let me put one of my buyers in there, it's a good deal for you and it's a good deal for us. And that's how you make a sandwich lease. Now, I wouldn't stay in it unless you have a nice nest egg. Listen to me. I've got burnt doing it. I know a lot of people that get burnt doing it. When you stay in a lease option, okay, what happens if something goes wrong? If you do not have a nest egg to repair it, what if the tenant you put in there rips out the furnace, the plumbing, gets pissed off, destroys all your walls? Who's going to pay for it then? Because that tenant's not. So now you got to go back to this landlord and explain to this landlord how the tenant that you put into the house destroyed the home. Okay, so let me make this clear. Do not get greedy for $100 to $200 a month in cash flow and stay in on a lease option deal that's gonna burn you long term. Because the fact of the matter is, I think it's like 18% of lease options actually convert. I mean, it's a very small percentage. Okay, so don't do that. If you're gonna do a lease option, be clear. Hey, listen, I have somebody. They'll be a tenant. They'll cash out. We'll work with them to make sure they cash out and get the hell out of the way. Just to sign it, make sure you've dotted all your T's, crossed all your I's in the beginning. You've done your credit checks. You know who you're putting in there, and the landlord knows exactly who they're dealing with. They're already going to be a landlord, so they don't mind dealing with the person coming in. You're going to have to sweeten the deal somehow, because they're already getting, like in this guy's case, $595. So $595 plus deposit plus utilities. So he's going to want his $595 plus his deposit. What is that? 1,000 85, 95, and 95 is 190 plus 5. So you're looking at $1,190 up front. So how can you get them to say okay to this deal? Well, it's simply offer them some extra money. Hey, what if I gave you, $2,000 down? That makes it a more appealing. Why would he want you? Why would this investor want to work with you when they can do it themselves, right? Sometimes they're not 100% familiar with the lease option, and you're going to have to talk them through it. But you can always spice up the deal by adding a little bit of money to the deal, and then you're going to make your money on the actual option payment, which is typically 10% of the value of the home. So if this is $60,000, you're going to try to get $6,000, maybe a little more out of the home. Some people get up to 20, but you have to be pretty established and have a pretty strong presence to get those kind of numbers. Okay, and we're talking about local newspaper advertising. I mean, you're well known locally. This is what you do. You got a plethora of buyers coming in for these type of homes. A lot of companies focus just on lease options because it's so profitable, because you can run ghost ad campaigns to find lease option buyers before you even get started and have people lined up, by using stuff like this. I'm not going to use the same picture, but, I'll throw a house that I've done a deal on, throw it up, make some numbers up that make sense, and then see what kind of buyers I get coming in from that response. Okay. So that's one thing you can do here. You can start cross-referencing this person. Once you message them to get the ad, I mean, here's the address already, so we can look up the address on PropStream, find out who the owner is, and then cross-reference the owner's name on title and see how many houses this person potentially has, because not only is this person a seller, like I said in the beginning, this person is a buyer as well. Some of my best sellers were first my buyers. The big package of home deal I'm working on as we're talking, as I'm recording this video, was at first my buyer. My 13 house package in Huntington was at first my buyer that I got off of GhostDad. 4 of the 13 houses that he has that I'm selling for him, uh, I sold to him. I flipped wholesaled in 4 of those 13 houses. So now my seller is now my buyer, and some of your sellers will become your buyers as well. When you're dealing with just investors, which is a good place to be. I like to break wholesaling down in 2. Draw a line right down the middle of your paper, and on one side put sellers, actual homeowners that are selling, and then investors, and keep your business separated that way, because that's how it's going to break down, and each one is handled slightly differently with the follow-up process and creating a customer for life, because most homeowners are only going to sell you a house once, right? The average person owns 3 houses in their lifetime. So more than likely they're going to sell you one home. It's going to be one and done and over with, but you're going to nurture the relationship with the investors. All right. So this is the first video, just a little something to throw out there for you. In the next one, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to find a home, just scrolling through Marketplace, run some numbers on it, and see if we can't get in contact with the owner and make an offer.